What's up guys, welcome back to today's video, and pretty much what's sitting behind me is the 2023 Kia K5 GT line. This is a car that came out a couple years ago and it is a stunning car. I'm excited to get into it and review it and start driving it because this car has gotten its rep over the last couple years and it deserves some recognition, and this car is definitely a lot prettier and a lot more powerful than the Optima was. So without further ado, let's start from my favorite place, which is the back. So this is the 2023 Kia K5 GT line in the wolf gray, which is becoming a popular color now. It is absolutely beautiful on every car that it really comes out on. But this car has 27 city, 37 highway. It produces 180 horsepower and it has a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder turbo. So this is one of the baseline GT lines, so it's not like the GT where you don't have the actual exhaust tips on the bottom, you just have the little fake cutouts. And I will say they do have a pretty nice stock diffuser. That's really clean, I like that. It's got the silver touch to it, really pretty. You have your deflectors there. I love how the taillight comes all the way across. That is so beautiful. Your rear camera, obviously, in standard. The new Kia logo, which I absolutely love. Your factory spoiler lip, it's gloss black, really pretty. I think this car, it's kind of like a Sportback, where it almost looks like the whole entire hatch could like lift when you open the trunk, but it doesn't. But it slopes down. It's almost like a Sportback or a Fastback. It's really pretty. You have your baseline 18-inch wheels, which actually they're a little dirty, but they look really pretty, sitting on Pirelli P0 tires, factory. Beautiful tires they put on this car. They are 235/45 by 18s, and it sits really nice. It doesn't sit too high, it doesn't sit too low. You do have a really nice black and gray combination, and I think it kind of looks really nice. It definitely kind of flows together and it makes it look like a mean looking standard daily driver car on the road, and that's what I like about it. Pretty aggressive side skirts for a factory, I like that as well. We'll get into the interior after, which is really pretty. You have a nice black option mirrors, but you don't have the black roof, which is okay. This one does not have a sunroof, it's just the baseline GT line, but it's still pretty. And then you have your beautiful headlights, which have that orange light, the amber light for daylight, and then it turns into a LED at night. I think it's really pretty. You have your double LED lights, which just look absolutely stunning, really pretty. You have your beautiful front side vents, which make it look kind of aggressive for what it is. If you add a front lip to this thing would be insanely aggressive. Beautiful front grille. I love the knots that they put in these grills, almost like a twisted grill, whatever you'd like to call it, on the front, and it kind of makes the whole thing look really aggressive. And then you have your beautiful front vent on the bottom. Everything about it looks aggressive and speaks aggression. I think that's what they were trying to go for in this car, and everything about it is just pretty. You have a huge hood here, which is just takes up half the car. So much different than some of the other cars I reviewed had smaller hoods. This hood is massive. Very big car. It's very boaty. It weighs 3,300 pounds. It's very large, but it's definitely a perfect daily driver in my opinion because it's inexpensive. It's got a lot of cool and great features, and it looks really aggressive and stunning on the road. So that is something that this car definitely has compared to the Optima. The Optima kind of looked a little bland. They definitely took away that bland. Now, the one thing I can do without is these chrome pieces. I would like those to be black or just not there at all. I'm not a huge fan of that. If you're looking for a new car to drive on the road, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, don't need anything too fast or too crazy, this might be the car for you, because looking at it in person definitely changed my mind about how I felt about this car. Seeing the commercials and everything, I was like, okay, it's okay looking, it's not bad, but seeing it here just looks absolutely perfect. And one thing I forgot to say is these little fake vents that they have in the rear, on the rear bumper. Something that a lot of cars are starting to do now is they're trying to add that like sporty M Sport or RS line or AMG line to a lot of these cars. Is when they're competing with it, is what they're doing is adding these little like sharp edges and these little vents to areas that make the car look more aggressive and make it feel like it can compete on the road with all those other cars. Definitely like that feature, although it's not really needed. It's definitely really nice to have, and I like the look of it. It's not too much, it's not too less, it's absolutely perfect. Before we even get into what features are in this car, we need to do a test and see how much leg space we have. And holy cow, yeah, that passed the test. That's a lot of leg room. Really cozy, really comfortable. That's in my seating position. I'm 5'9", so my seat's going to be up a little bit. Obviously, if you're 6'2", 6'3", it's gonna be back. This seat's kind of back, so you can kind of see exactly from this perspective what you're gonna get. So somebody who's in their 6'5", feet range, 6'2", 6'3", you still have plenty of leg space in the back. You can crouch down without your knees hitting the seat. I mean, it is very cozy back here. You still have the bumps in the back here too. I don't know why it's like that, but it's really roomy, really cozy, and I really like this view of this car because it looks like a $50,000 car and it's only 30 grand. 2 USB vents in the back, which is always lovely. I don't even have one in my car, so having 2 in this one is just perfect. You even have 2 up there, which is awesome. You have a charging one, and then you have a USB one. The USB one will connect to your radio. The other one will not. That one is just an extra charging port. Then you have your 2 extra charging ports in the back, which is always lovely to have. If you're packing the car with a bunch of people going on a road trip, you always need that. So the interior of this car is absolutely beautiful. I mean, you have the red leather seats. It's like a cherry red, dark red, with your black stitching all the way throughout, with the GT-line badging on the back of the seat. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's like one of those one-piece seat designs, but it's not a one-piece seat. Really pretty. Really still wish they made one-piece designs for these kinds of cars, but they still don't. But it kind of looks like a one-piece seat. Has that like formation, I guess you could say. It just looks so pretty. You have your red inserts here on the side. Oh, so pretty. You have these little bumps here next to the windows, which is it's kind of different. I never seen that before, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's definitely different, but I wouldn't say it's bad, but you know, not a big deal. Anyway, so this car is obviously the GT line. It has 180 horsepower, you know, nothing crazy, but it's a beautiful car. It does not have the paddle shifters in this one. This is the all-wheel drive, but obviously you don't get the paddles. Kind of stinks. Wish we had the paddles. But you have the wonky shift knob that I just don't like. They really need to fix these shift knobs in the Kias. I just don't know why they do this. I get it's a good hand grip like this, but I don't grip a shifter like that. I'm used to gripping it kind of like this. It's kind of weird. Anyway, nothing crazy, nothing bad, but the interior itself is actually really pretty. You have your standard 10-inch Apple CarPlay and Android Auto radio, which is similar to the Sonata N-Line and all other Kias. Obviously, Kia and Hyundai are around the same, but it looks pretty. It's the same radio as you saw in the Sonata N-Line that I did. This does not come with a Bose sound system like the Sonata N-Line, but it is the same radio, same setup. I do like this texture that they have, this plastic texture that they have on the dash. I think it's kind of pretty how it sets back like this. Pretty much the same as any other Kia, nothing too extraordinary, but it is pretty. You have your standard flat bottom Kia GT line or GT steering wheel, which is beautiful. You have all your steering wheel controls here, volume control, everything is the same. You have your cruise control, all your mode buttons for your radio. You have your heated seats right here with your heated steering wheel. These are your mode buttons right here. You have your climate control right here with your sync button as usual, and then you have your drive mode button right here, which you basically twist and it puts it into any mode you want. You have smart, you have normal, sport, custom, and you have snow because it's all-wheel drive, which is cool. So we're gonna keep it in normal for when we start driving soon, then we'll switch it over to sport. Smart is pretty boring, but you know. And then we don't need snow because it's not snowing. Let's begin driving this thing. Let's see what we got. So right now we have it in normal. We're gonna just kind of do our thing in normal, nothing crazy. One thing I will say is the car has no exhaust sound. It just doesn't sound like anything. That I will say. All right, let's see how she drives. So like off the bat, I noticed that it shifts differently than the Optima did. It's more comfortable than the Optima was, and it definitely has a much better interior than the Optima did. Obviously the remodeled is going to always look better than the one before. Now I just have to look for some open road so I can hit the gas a little bit, and around where I am right now it's not very easy to find some roads like that. So we are going to be on the hunt for some roads where we can do that. But so far, just cruising down the road, it feels pretty good. Steering wheel feels nice, drives very smooth. Like I said, a great daily driver. Nothing too special, but it's beautiful. At the same time, like, you can feel like a business executive in this car regardless. It definitely does its job. Actually, I'll go this way. Actually, no, I'm not gonna go that way because that's onto the highway. Just hitting the gas a little bit in normal. Not bad. Oh look, it's Mater. Yeah, the car is, I think, a little too quiet for my liking, I will say. I don't really like quiet cars. I like a little bit of sound in there, and there's just not much to it. But that's okay. Because for you people out there that are watching this video, you might like a car like that. So this is a perfect example of how quiet this car really is. I mean, it's peaceful. I like a little bit of sound. Mid-pull. I didn't have enough time to get the camera ready. But we're back on a road where we can actually hit the gas a little bit now, which is nice. So that's good. It's good to be back where we can hit the gas. The area I was in, it was too small. The roads were too small and the speed limits were too low. I literally couldn't do a thing. I couldn't hit the gas, I couldn't do nothing. I needed a little bit more space so I could hit the gas. Now we got that. Not sure how I'm still in third, but oh wow. Okay, it's got power. Oh wow. It's torquey. So I would say overall the driving experience in this thing is, I would say, a good 8 out of 10. I mean, I've been driving it around town for a little while now. I haven't been on camera the whole time, but I've been driving it a little bit around town, and it's honestly, it's a really smooth ride. I mean, the car feels nice. Obviously it's really smooth. It's got a little bit of torque to it. It feels grippy to the road. It definitely is comfortable to drive. I mean, you're just driving the last 45 minutes or so. It's just cozy. And I mean, for the great price of 26 to 30 grand, I mean, you really can't go wrong. I mean, even if you wanted to get a GT, I mean, it's not super expensive. Wow, that's got torque. The torque feels great. For a baseline car, you have to go in with no expectations, but I mean, it's got no lag, it's got great torque. This car feels really good. Here we are on a windy back road. Wish I had my paddle shifters, but I don't. I mean, that just feels so raw. Very good. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised in how this car feels. Feels really good. And we'll just go back to drive. We'll switch it back to normal and just keep it cordial. We'll keep it chill. And I mean, so far, I mean, this thing feels really great. I mean, this 1.6 liter, I mean, honestly, I think it's either the same, if not similar, to the Optima so far while driving it, but it feels cleaned up. Like the car doesn't feel, I mean, the Optima felt kind of laggy, didn't really go, felt like it had way less than 178 horsepower. It just didn't feel good. This car you feel all 180 when you hit the gas. I mean, everything feels good. It definitely feels nice. Plus you get a great looking interior. The exterior looks a lot more mean than the Optima looks. So I mean, everything about it definitely checks every box. I feel like I could use a little bit more horsepower, but I mean, honestly, for a daily driver, this car has plenty of power. I mean, in comparison of the Sonata Limited, I mean, the Sonata Limited is 190, this is 180. It's pretty much the same thing. So, and they both have pretty good power for what they are. I mean, I'd wish to see just a hair over 200. Really great driving experience. It's been a lot of fun. I'm excited that you guys got to see the car. I'm excited that I got to drive the car finally and see it. And the car itself is just very torquey and stunning looking. Besides that shifter, the car is perfect. So definitely think about going to look at this car if you're in the market, because it's inexpensive, it's got great power for what it is, and on top of it, it's really sharp looking and really pretty. Kia and Hyundai are making great comebacks. They're making themselves relevant in the car game again, which, you know, is something that I think they desperately needed, because 5-6 years ago, their companies did not look great. Their cars were unreliable, they were ugly, no power, terrible transmissions. So seeing them the way they are now, I mean, every Kia I've driven and every Hyundai I've driven has just been amazing. And that's why I need to get my hands on an Elantra N. I am trying. I've been trying to get my hands on one for the longest time. I am so sorry that I haven't driven one yet and that I haven't reviewed one. I know a lot of you guys were commenting like, you gotta drive the Elantra N if you really like the Sonata N line. I'm like, I know, I need to, and I promise I will. I just need to find one at a dealership that will allow me to review it. I've tried a couple times, did not work. So we're trying. That is the _1 goal right now, is to review that car. I want to review the car really, really bad, almost kind of like how badly I want to review this one. And I'm happy that I'm finally getting to review it. But that Elantra N is something that is, I'm hoping the hype is true. Like, I'm hoping it really is living up to what the hype is. But just sitting here like this, doing just vlogging like this, I mean, look at the red seats. I mean, that is beautiful. I love that. I almost bought a BMW with red seats, but I decided to go with the Volkswagen. But wow, the red seats are something else. It just looks so good, like on camera, and just like, I can see myself vlogging with red seats every day. Maybe white seats too, I don't know. I'm getting sick of the plain black. Like, I've just had plain black for too long. I'm getting tired of it. Boys, that is gonna take us to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed the review on this beauty. This thing is just an absolute low-key beast. It drives really clean, smooth. It just needs more sound in the exhaust. Other than that, this car is amazing. But thank you guys so much for watching today's review video on the 2023 Kia K5, and we will see you very, very soon. Thank you so much. Peace out, guys.